Hi everybody, we're done with the elemental group. Let's go to the spiritual group. Life, death, and myth. Let's start with myth. Myth and I'll explain a bit. Not case mine. I'm shortening it down a lot because I don't want take everyone's time for too long. So, why is myth the most hated school of them all? And why is myth so complicated and not a lot of people are willing to learn myth? Let's just say it's just myth is just more minions and what you can do for the team is just a lot of people will not expect you to do anything but hitting. So yeah, that's gonna be a tricky one. So basically, I'm a myth main, so let me explain a bit about myself. I can do multiple things if I wanted to. Basically. But I know a lot of people are gonna already know what myth is, so I'll just skip on over a bit. What is myth's worst spell? Obviously, stun. If I be honest, well, I didn't explain that Storm's worst spell is just Wobalt, and their best one is Stormlord and Bug. Myth is just the best if you want to get rid of things quick. It's Authoress, or you want to take a time, just go with the cricket. Not the cricket, the mantis lady. Anyways, what is myth's role, and why is this so confusing and not great? Myth are the tanks and the attackers of the spiritual group. So it's kind of why you kind of already getting the hint like myth is kind of confusing. Myth might not have a lot of health. You may break one word some, but they can deal with the hits more because the other two can't really do much. Well, at least people who think so. Is myth gonna stay this way? They're staying attacker, but tank rule might be just plummeted a bit. So yeah, you could probably wizard for this. So yeah, that's great. What's gonna help myth and what's gonna plummet myth? Believe it or not, unlike most schools, this is the only school that a lot of people find it confusing until they understand what this role is meant to work with. Myth, it's best for myth not to combo with Storm. That's kind of obvious by now, but I know the game wants you to go with Storm on myth, but trust me, you don't want to go with Storm unless it's the only set school you can work with. I would not recommend it otherwise. Myth are not preppers, which is they don't give blades or traps or other things to other groups. So it's kind of why I say Storm is just only go with it if it's the only school working for you. That's all I'm gonna say. So they can adapt to tanking, they can adapt to healing, and they can adapt to attacking, but they cannot adapt to prepping unless it makes sense. Otherwise, they cannot prep. So yeah, I would say the best side school to help you be more aggressive. It's fire and ice. I know people question ice, but the difference between Storm and Myth is it helps Myth actually be willing to use ice in case Myth is not working, because Myth is one of the most common schools bosses you'll run into eventually. So yeah, and fire is just to help Myth be more aggressive and help them get out of the comfort zone. But also Myth is kind of more of like odd fellow where it can reverse on you. What's going to help Myth be more passive? Balance in life. Reason why I'm excluding death is just death it's just a maybe situational. Like I said about Storm, but the only difference is death you can prep. That's only if it makes sense. Otherwise, don't go with death. Life and balance can help Myth be more passive, in case they shouldn't be so aggressive all of a sudden. So, anyways, that's about I can talk about. And reason why myth is just not very popular these days because a lot of people assume myth is just minions, lazy, and other stuff. That's about it. Myth is one of those you can expose like people's true colors a bit, just like ice. And well, I didn't mention this on the ice one, but ice can reveal dark colors basically, and also life and balance can reveal the dark side of your friends basically, where if you don't do exactly what your friends want when it makes no sense to do what your friend wants, that can expose the how unfriendly they can be. Just like if you swap your gender from men to woman or woman to men, it can change the dynamic real quick. Basically, myth is just one of those like just more of a maybe passive or aggressive. It just depends. And believe it or not, myth are the most chill other than ice half the time. So